Hello everyone, I welcome you all to my channel Prakash Vahini. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Okay, as per your time, at what time you are watching, I don't know. So I welcome you everybody. Today we will discuss very important topic of class 11 physics, that is a mathematical method. This topic is having its own importance if you talk about complete syllabus of 11th and 12th also. So in every chapter somewhere the concepts of this topic are required. Okay, so in this I have included scalars and vectors, then types of vector, and angle between vector. So these are the three topics we will try to cover in today's lecture. And another part, again very important part, that is addition of vectors and all, we will discuss in the next lecture. And I will try to cover all the concepts related to which are required for NEET and JEE. Okay, and by this automatically board syllabus will be covered. Whatever may be your board, it may be CBSE board, it may be Maharashtra board, Maharashtra state board, or maybe other state board, everything will be covered. So today we will discuss important theoretical concepts only, basic terminologies which are used in scalar, vector, okay, types of vector and all that, how to find angle between the vectors. Okay, so without wasting time we should start now. So my name is Krishna Kumar Somavanshi, and I request you, it is written there but I want to tell you, you like, share and comment and subscribe our channel. Okay, and it's my request to watch this video from beginning to end in one shot, in one sitting. Okay, and write everything whatever appears on the board, whatever appears on the screen. Okay, that will help you to involve in the concept, and then and only then you can understand. Otherwise it is very difficult. Writing is very important, and watching the video in one sitting is also very important. Okay, if you don't have time, no problem, you just subscribe right now, press on the bell icon, and then whenever you have time, sufficient time, 1 hour, okay, in that time you can watch this, but possibly you try to watch in one sitting. Okay, so time being you can subscribe. So let us continue. So what is a scalar first? Let it appear on the screen. Scalar, in the previous lecture in units and measurement, in the basics of that we have discussed different physical quantities, derived quantities, fundamental quantities. Okay, if you don't know, if you are new, recently if you have started learning this physics, then you can watch my video based on that physical quantities. Okay, it is available on the our YouTube channel, on my YouTube channel, that is Prakash Vahini. So all these physical quantities are divided broadly in two categories, scalar and vector. There is another category, that is tensor. Okay, we will talk on that also, but mainly there are two, scalar and vector. So what is scalar? Scalar means a physical quantity. To describe it we need only magnitude. So magnitude means what? Here it is written in the bracket, you can see a number and unit. Magnitude means what? A number and unit. 1 kg sugar, suppose. So 1 is its number, okay, magnitude, number, and kg is a unit. So combinedly we can say it is a magnitude. Not simply number cannot be a magnitude, its unit should be there. some quantities are unitless, so in that case it is okay, but if unit is there available, then we have to write, and combinedly we will say the magnitude. So only and physical quantities are having magnitude and direction, and some physical quantity have only magnitude, no direction is required for their description, like work, distance, energy. Okay, energy stored in a body, you can say. So we never talk about the direction. This much kilocalorie or some joule, that much amount is there in that body, that much we will say. Or work, suppose body is moved from this place, suppose there is this is one body, and it is placed here, and we will apply some force in this direction, suppose, and body will move in this at this place up to the, and this much is the distance covered, let us say x, and same force if I will apply in this direction, okay, body is same force is applied, though the direction is different, distance traveled is different, same, suppose, okay, let us say x. So distance traveled is same force is applied, same body is there, okay. So whatever work done in this process will be same, okay. So work is done in this direction, work is done in this direction here, but we will not talk about the that direction. We will simply say moving x distance, the work done is this much, okay. So we will talk only about magnitude and not about the direction, okay. So such a quantities like work, energy, speed, distance are called what? Scalar. Are you understanding? Now look, it has only magnitude, and these physical quantities can be added and subtracted according to the rules of algebra. Means what? Work, for example, if you are saying 10 joule, so 10 joule plus, suppose work done in another process is suppose 5 joule, so directly we can add 10 plus 5 is 15 joule, we can write, okay. No any other laws are required, simple laws of algebra we can use, and we can simply add and subtract these scalar quantities, okay. But that is not happening in the case of vectors, that we will see. So another important thing you must remember in case of scalar is it do not have any specific representation, okay. So simply by its notation we can work, distance, okay, like this only you can represent, no any other specific method is given, okay, that is given to the vectors, okay. So let me clear this. And another important thing is what? Division of a scalar by another scalar is also valid. Division of the two magnitude of a particular physical quantity, it is possible. Now next type is a vector. This is very important. The physical quantity which is having both magnitude and direction, for its complete description, that quantities are called vector. Means what? Suppose there is a body and some force is applied on this in this direction, suppose, and body will move here, okay, will be displaced at this place, and same body is moved in this direction, means force is applied in this direction, suppose, okay. So next position of this body is different, okay. So you must tell about the direction of the force, in which direction it is applied, okay. So force applied in this case is a vector quantity. How much is applied and in which direction it is applied, both are important to describe the force. So force is a vector quantity, okay. So such a quantities, for their complete description, magnitude as well as direction is required, then that type of quantities are called what? Vectors. Unlike scalar, these vectors are added by the geometrical or graphical method, okay, or by some laws which are called vector algebra, okay, vector laws of vector addition, that we will discuss in the next lecture, and those are required for the addition and subtraction. Simple laws like suppose this force is suppose 2 Newton and here 3 Newton, so directly 2 plus 3 we cannot do, 5 Newton resultant, oh, we cannot do that, okay. So here different laws are required. That is a very important thing in this type of physical quantity, that is vector. Another is what? It is denoted by arrowhead. So specific representation is there. Look, it is represented like this. One arrowhead on the it is put on the its symbol of that vector, A bar, B bar, C bar, D bar, like this. But that is not happening in the case of scalar. In the scalar, there is no specific representation for scalar, but for vector such a kind of notations are used. Clear? And unlike this division of these two vectors or any two vectors is not valid. We cannot do division of the vectors, but in case of scalar it is possible. Examples of vector are displacement, distance is a scalar, but displacement is a vector, because what, suppose a body move in this direction from this point to this point, okay, and after this will move in this direction, okay, so this is the final position. So distance traveled will be what, this x, okay, plus this y distance. So this we will add, that we will call a total what we can say distance. But displacement is what, in that case we have to check what is the initial condition and what is the final condition, and this is called displacement. This distance, okay, and this direction, both are required, okay, to describe the new position from the if you compare with the previous one. So this is a displacement, both are required, magnitude and direction. In the same way, velocity means speed in some particular direction. Speed is a scalar quantity, but if you will add magnitude with this, okay, if you talk about the magnitude as well as direction, that becomes a velocity. Same is the acceleration, direction of acceleration is in the direction of velocity, okay. So that is also a scalar quantity. Force, as I told you, force is also a vector quantity, both are required, okay. Now important thing you must remember in case of vector is that only magnitude and direction is sufficient to describe vector? No. This is not this what you can say final condition to describe vector. There is another condition. We should follow the laws of vector algebra for their addition and subtraction, okay, for their addition and subtraction, okay. Just a minute, okay. So only having magnitude and direction is not a sufficient condition to be a vector. It should obey laws of vector addition. This is a third condition we can say. For scalar only magnitude is sufficient, but for vector magnitude, direction as well as it should follow the laws of vector addition for their subtraction, for their addition and subtraction. Specifically addition. Subtraction is a we'll talk about that in a next lecture, in the addition and subtraction of the in the laws of vector addition. We will talk about that, but it should follow that laws, then it is called a vector, okay. Because what, sometimes what happens, suppose there is a one physical quantity, that is current, okay. So current is flowing in this direction, suppose 1 ampere is flowing, and from this direction at this junction suppose 2 ampere is coming, okay, and there is one wire, it is moving in this direction. So current flowing in this wire, we can say 1 ampere plus 2 ampere, so directly we can add is 3 ampere. So addition is done as per a laws of vector addition. Okay, so simple algebra we are using here, simple algebra we are using here, but current is means we are treating as a scalar, this current, but current have direction also, but addition we are doing directly by using a laws of vector algebra. Okay, so this is not a vector quantity then, it is not following laws of vector addition. Okay, so that is why this kind of physical quantity like current, in that case we have to check whether it is whether it is following laws of vector addition or not. That type of quantities are called tensor quantities. Okay, so use of tensor quantities, that concept is not in detail explained in 11-12 standard, that you will learn in higher studies, that is BSc or maybe in engineering. Okay, so with this we will start another topic, that is the representation of a vector, how the vectors are represented. There are two methods basically. Just a minute, there is a problem. Okay, so representation of a vector, representation of a vector. So there are two methods, as I told you. First one is the graphical method. So graphically, how they are represented? They are represented like this. Okay, one arrowhead in between. This is one vector. This is a vector, means suppose displacement from A to B, and in between there is an arrow. So it is represented like this. Okay, one arrow in between the letters. Normally we don't use this. Okay, very rarely we will use this. Another method is very important, that is a symbolic representation. Symbolically how these vectors are represented, that is very important. So symbolically means what? Like this, one arrowhead on this, and sometimes in some book this is also given a bar. Okay, so this type of representation is there, and that is called symbolic representation. And what about magnitude? Magnitude can be represented like this. Okay, or like this, mod, or vector in a mod, or simply like this, or simply simple its notation will give you the direction, what you can say, magnitude. Why mod? Because vectors cannot be negative. Okay, suppose minus a bar, this minus sign indicates its direction. This is a having opposite direction than a bar. Okay, this is a vector, and minus a means it is having opposite direction, exactly opposite direction. For that purpose this negative sign is applied. Negative sign do not indicate that it is having negative magnitude. No, magnitude of vector quantity is always positive. Remember this, magnitude of vector quantity is always positive. Okay, but in case of scalar, scalar can be negative, scalar can be positive. Negative work done, positive work done we will say, but force cannot be negative. If minus f means what? The direction of force is opposite. That is the meaning. Okay, remember this. This is very important concept. Now we'll start types of vector. In book 4-5 types are given. Okay, but I will discuss much more, because you should not have any confusion regarding that. First one is zero vector or null vector. So as name indicates, its magnitude is 0. A vector having 0 magnitude, and direction can be any, you can take arbitrarily, because its magnitude is not there, no. So it is placed at one place, you can say, no magnitude. So direction you can take arbitrarily, okay. So that is called 0 vector, and that is called 0 vector. It is represented by 0 and arrowhead like this, okay. This is a symbolic representation of this 0 vector. Example can be what? A vector, velocity vector of a stationary particle. A particle is stationary, so there is no question of velocity, basically no velocity, no vector is available, but we will not say like that. We will say there is a velocity, but its magnitude is 0, we will say, okay. And its direction, we can say, after applying force it may move in the direction of force, and that direction of force applied we don't know, okay. It is applied in future, no, that's why. So direction can be decided arbitrarily, and it is having 0 magnitude, then that type of vectors are called what? 0 vector. Example you can give like this: velocity vector of a stationary particle, or a acceleration of a body moving with a uniform speed. Body is moving with a uniform speed. Uniform speed means what? Its velocity is not increasing. And what is the acceleration? Rate of change of velocity. But there is no change in the velocity, means acceleration is absent. But we will not say it is absent. We will say its magnitude is 0. It is there. This is the idea, okay. So another type is a resultant vector. Sometimes what happens, on a body, same type of physical quantity is acting in different directions, we can say, like a force on a body, 2-3 forces are acting. So there will be the combined effect, we can say, resultant. So for example, suppose suppose this is one body and one force is applied here, another force is applied on this direction, so body will move in this direction. This is the combined effect, we can say. So this force, a single vector of these two, okay, is called what? Resultant force or resultant vector, we can say, right? So resultant vector of 2 or more vector is a single vector which gives effective magnitude and direction of all vectors together. Are you getting bored? Because all the theoretical concepts are going on one by one definition, but you should have patience, because these notations, this terminology is very much important. By reading also you can what you can say, you can understand. If you want the PDF notes of this, you just mail me prakashvahini@gmail.com. I will give you, I will send on your mail PDF notes of this lecture also, no problem. If you don't want to watch, no problem, because these are all theoretical concepts. By reading also you can understand, okay. But in between I may explain some, I may stress on a particular parameter, and that are very important, like I am saying in the previous case also, only two things, magnitude and direction, is not sufficient condition for representation of vector, okay. So I have given more stress on this, that it should follow the laws of vector addition, okay. So by watching the videos or by attending some lecture, you can easily grasp. That is why the lectures are important. By reading also one can understand, no problem, no issue, right? Another type is this is little bit slow. That is a negative vector. Negative vector means what? The vector which is having same magnitude but opposite direction. Vector is having, negative vector of a given vector is a vector of same magnitude but having exactly opposite direction, is called a negative vector. Like this is a vector, okay, this is a vector, and same vector b is there, same magnitude. If length is same, magnitude is same, so but its direction is exactly opposite. So that is why it is written like this: b bar is equal to minus a bar. B bar is equal to what? minus a bar, like this it is written. So it is written like this. Equal vectors. Equal vector means what? The vectors which have same magnitude, same direction. Okay, both should be same. Then and only then we can say these are the equal vectors. So here A, B, C, D having same lengths. Okay, so means same vector, same magnitude, and direction is also same. Though the place is different, no problem. Place can be different. Okay, on the page you can draw anywhere, but if the direction is same and same magnitude, then that type of vectors are called equal vectors, we can say. Both should be equal. Another thing is what? Position vector. Position vector, it is used to describe a position of a particular vector with respect to your own origin. You will decide some place, and from that place what is the position of the another vector. To indicate that this type of vectors are used. A vector which gives the position of a particle at a point with respect to the origin of chosen coordinate system that you are choosing, that is called position vector. Like this, suppose there is a m vector, it is placed here, okay, in the space. Suppose some direction is there, okay, we don't know, but I want to describe this vector, position of this vector with respect to my origin. This here I have put origin, here I have drawn one x axis, y axis, and with respect to this point what is the position. So I will join this O with this. So this R, OM bar or R bar indicates, will give you the position vector. Magnitude of position vector is this distance, and this is the direction. Okay, so here in figure, vector R, that is OM vector, represents the position of vector M with respect to origin O. Clear? So next is unequal vector. As we have discussed, the equal vector have both magnitude and direction same. Unequal vectors will have something missing, means they may have magnitude same but direction is different. So these are called unequal vectors. Sometimes they may have direction same but magnitude different, unequal vector, or they may have both magnitude and direction different. So they are called unequal vectors. So vectors having either magnitude or direction or both different, then these vectors are called what? Unequal vectors. Now anti-parallel. So what is parallel? Parallel means they are having same direction. Magnitude may be same, may not be same, may be different. But if direction is same, parallel vectors. And if direction is opposite, then they are called what? Anti-parallel vectors. The two vectors having exactly opposite direction are called anti-parallel. We will not bother about that magnitude. Magnitude can be same, can be different. Magnitude can be same, can be different. If the magnitude is same and exactly opposite direction, they are called negative vectors. So negative vectors are anti-parallel vectors, we can say. Okay, and equal vectors we can say parallel vectors. Okay, so this much types are not given in some books. So only 5-6 are given, and based on that others types also easily understood. Like if equal vector definition is given and definition of unequal vector is not given, easily you can understand. No problem. Somebody asks you what is unequal, which is not equal, that is unequal. No, so like this you can remember or you can answer, no problem. But I have included everything. Now collinear vectors. Collinear means suppose one vector is there here and another vector is here, two different vector, but they are on one line. You can say this is one line. On this line these vectors are there, so they are collinear vectors. Okay, so the vectors along the same line are called vectors. Maybe they are joined with each other, may not be, no problem. One vector is here, another vector is here, but if one line can be, we can draw like this. Suppose this is one vector and another vector is here, so line we cannot draw for this. Okay, if I want to join this like this, so this is not the line, this is the curve. So these two vectors are not collinear. Okay, this vector and this vector are not collinear. We cannot draw a straight line passing through this both. A line should there should be provision to draw a complete line passing through those two vectors, then they are called collinear vectors. Okay, then coplanar. Coplanar, two or more than two are on one plane, then we can say they are coplanar vectors. So vectors situated in the same plane are called coplanar vectors. Normally two vectors, suppose these two can be on one plane. I can put on these two on one plane. Suppose these are two, I can put one plane here. Okay, but three may be on one plane. These three are on one plane. I can put a plane like this, but one is like this, so I cannot put all these three on one plane. But only two, no problem. Whatever may be the their orientation, I can put these two vectors on one plane. So this is the case. One is on this side, one is on this side. So I can put plane like this. So they will become on one plane. So they are coplanar now. Okay. So two vectors are always coplanar, but more than two may be coplanar, may not be coplanar. Like this here. This two red color are on a one plane, green plane. So they are coplanar. But if you talk combinedly, two red and one yellow, they are not coplanar. Okay, one is on the blue plane. Okay, but if you combine this one red and one yellow, no problem. You can draw one plane like this, and you can say these two are on this plane. So these two are coplanar. In the same way, you can draw a plane like this for this vector and this vector, and you can say they are coplanar. But if you talk about these three, then they are not coplanars vectors. Okay, but if you draw one what you can say, one another vector here or like this. Okay, so all these four vectors are what? Coplanar. They are on one. So more than two vectors are there, 3, 4 like this, then they may be coplanar like this, or they may not be if you include this. Clear? Now another type is concurrent vectors. Concurrent means suppose more than one vectors are at a same junction, at a same point, they are acting at the same point. Okay, so there are four, for example, I have given. So these four vectors are what? Concurrent vectors. They are acting at a same point. They are having one common point, we can say. Then these are called what? Concurrent or concurrent vectors. Next type is loading. So parallel vectors. So anti-parallel, you know. So parallel, you can decide vectors having same direction are called what are called parallel vectors. Then next is, this is very important, unit vector. Very important, unit vector. Unit vector is used in many cases. It is having important what you can say significance in the physics. Okay, it will give you the direction. Now it is used to give the direction of a vector. A vector having unit magnitude in a given direction is called unit vector. Its magnitude is unity you can say, and its direction is equal to the direction of a given vector, is called what? Unit vector. Means what? Suppose a bar is a non-zero vector. Okay, a non-zero means its magnitude is not zero. If magnitude is zero, that becomes zero vector. It is not a zero vector. It is having some magnitude and some direction. Then a unit vector denoted by a cap. What is the notation? Notation for a unit vector is this: a cap, not arrowhead, a cap like this. Okay, a and a cap like this, in a direction of vector a is given by this way. We can give unit vector is that vector divided by its magnitude. is a unit vector, or this vector A can be described in terms of unit vector, magnitude of that vector A and unit vector in the direction of A. So unit vector is what? Showing the direction, you can say. So direction and magnitude, it is a combined vector, that is vector A. Okay, this is the idea. Now significance of unit vector. The unit vector gives the direction of unit. As I told you, this is the significance of unit vector. Now suppose x and y, x, y and z directions are there, and unit vectors in this direction can be given as normally I, j and k. So in x direction, unit vector in x direction is I cap, unit vector in y direction is j cap, and unit vector in z direction is k cap. Remember, x belongs to I, or I belongs to x, j belongs to y, and k belongs to z. So by this we can write like this also here. For this, x vector or vector in the x direction divided by its magnitude will give you I cap. Y vector or vector in the y direction divided by the magnitude of that, it will give you unit vector in the z direction. In the same way, unit vector in the z direction is what? K cap, that is vector in the z direction divided by its magnitude. Okay, so these are all types, 12 types I have shown. Okay, so if you remember main 4, 5, 6 types, then remaining you can easily understand, no problem. Important is unit vector. Okay. Now another important concept where many times it is used, parallel shift of vector. So many of the times it is required to shift vectors for addition purpose, to find the angles. Okay, so we have to shift the vectors, but we have to shift parallelly. So vectors can be shifted from one place to another for some purpose without changing their direction and magnitude. Okay, we can shift, but we cannot change its direction and magnitude. Okay, we cannot change its direction and magnitude. Then that is called parallel shifting. Without changing this direction and magnitude, if you shift vector, if you draw it at another place on the page, then that is called parallel shifting. Like suppose this is place 1 and a bar was drawn here, and same is drawn here. So this place and this place are different, but we have maintained the direction and magnitude. So this is called parallel shifting. In this way we can shift. While shifting, we cannot change its direction. If you draw at another place, that direction should be same, magnitude or length of that arrow should be same. That is called parallel shifting. Okay, this we will use in the finding the angles. Okay, shall we go for another topic? It's loading, loading and loading. PC is little bit slow. Okay, so next topic is what? Angle between two vectors. Join the vectors tail to tail or head to head, and then the smallest angle between them is called what? Angle between those vectors. This is very important, this angle between two vectors. If you mistake while finding the angles, your answer will go wrong, right? So remember, you have to join two vectors tail to tail and head to head, and then the smallest angle. Remember these 3 points: tail to tail you have to join, or head to head. One tail, one head. If you join, so that angle, and if you measure the angle, that will go wrong. You have to join tail to tail, head to head, and you have to consider smallest angle between them. Clear? Then that is called what? Angle between the vectors. First of all, what is tail and head? Look, this arrow head is called head, and this part is called beginning or starting is called tail. Okay, so you can join this part of the two vectors or this part of the two vectors to find the angles. Suppose here tail is joined, so no problem, you can now measure the angles. So angle between these two is mentioned 90 degree, and this angle is remaining is 270 degree. So which we have to take? Smallest angle we have to take, that is 90 degree. So angle between these two vectors is theta will be 90 degree. Simple. Another case, suppose there is one vector placed here, another vector placed like this horizontal, angle between them here in this figure is 120 degree. So whether it is 120 is the angle between these two? No. See, tail to tail we have to join. Here head and tail is joined, and now the angle is 120 degree. So this is not the angle between the vectors. For that, what we can do? We have to do the parallel shifting. Okay. So what I will do? I will keep this vector as it is here, parallel, and this I will draw another vector parallel to this. Okay. So these two are parallel. So this is the parallel shifting of this, and this is the parallel shifting of this. So no problem. Magnitude and direction we have kept same. Only we have joined what? This tail we have joined. Tail of this and tail of this we have joined here. Clear? Means what here? This is shifted here and this is shifted here without changing direction and magnitude. Only tail we have joined here. Now measure the angle. Look, if I will extend this in this direction, this is also possible. Keep this at the same place, only move this on this side, draw like this. Now look, this total angle should be 180 degree, and out of 180 degree this is 120 degree. How much is remaining? I think if this is 120 degree and this is 180 degree, means how much it is? This angle should be 60 degree, not 30 degree. Okay, this should be 60 degree. So this is a mistake. Okay, this will be 60 degree. Right now, another way you can draw like this. Suppose you keep this as it is here, or this you keep as it is here. Only you move on this side like this. Okay, so this angle will be what? If this is 60, this will be 60. Okay, means what? This angle will be 180 degree. Out of 180 degree, this is 120 degree. So remaining will be what? Remaining will be what? 60 degree. Remaining will be 60 degree. So angle here is what? 60 degree. Clear? Or if this angle 120 is instead of 120, if it is 150, okay, then we can say this angle will become 30 degree. In that case, this angle will become 30 degree. So here angle will be what? 60 degree. Okay. So by mistake, it is a printing mistake. While typing, I have done the mistakes, but no problem. Are you understanding what? What we have to do? We have to join tail to tail or head to head, and we have to consider smallest angle between them. So why after joining, you can consider this angle also, but this is the biggest angle and this is the smallest angle. So you have to consider this angle. You have to consider this angle. Okay. So we'll stop here. I hope you have understood everything what we have explained. We have discussed about what we have discussed, scalar, okay, vector, difference between scalar and vector, its example, then representation of vector, okay, two methods, graphical method, symbolic method, then how to describe how to represent magnitude also, that we have discussed. Then we have learned the type, 12 types. Out of that, unit vector is important, null vector is important, okay, parallel, anti-parallel, okay, with some figures we have tried to understand. And after that, parallel shifting we have discussed, and using that we have learned angle between the vectors also. Okay, so angle between vectors is very important. By parallel shifting we can calculate smallest angle we have to take. Vectors should be joined tail to tail or head to head. So these all are basic things we have discussed today. I hope you have understood everything. For PDF notes, you mail me prakashvahini, okay, at gmail.com. I will send you the PDF notes also. Okay, so in the next class we will learn laws of vector addition. Very important topic. You must what you can say, watch that video. I will upload it. For that, if you want to get the notification of that, you press on bell icon. Before that, you have to subscribe my channel, and I hope you will forward to your friends and write something in the comment box. Okay, and if you want to give suggestions also, no issue, that you give, I will improve myself. Okay, till then, goodbye.